All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the South Texas High School Baseball Podcast. Today, I've got on one of our local pro guys. He is a Carroll alumni, former player with the Guardians, the Rays. Currently just finished up a season in independent ball, but looking to get another spring training invite this upcoming year. We're here today with Michael Berglund, who has become a friend of mine. We've worked together in the off seasons the last couple of years and really helping him promote a lot of the training that he does back home in the off seasons. So Michael, it's a pleasure to have you on. I appreciate you making the time between workouts. I know you've got to run here in the next 45 minutes or so, go back to another workout, but yeah, man, it's a pleasure to have you. Glad you're back home. Good to see you. Always nice to catch up.
Yeah, you as well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we are very excited to announce our first sponsor of the show. That will be Seams Apparel. Thank you, Cale Emshoff, who started Seams, founded it while he's still playing pro ball in the minor leagues with the Royals. But Seams is a clothing brand. They make hats, shirts, hoodies, shorts. They have a new drop coming out that I'll link in the description and in our socials as well. But yeah, we're going to do a giveaway once the new drop is here. Cale's going to supply a shirt. And then we're gonna raffle that off. We'll pick a winner, and yeah, I'll give you all the details in the description and towards the end of the episode as well. But Cale, very excited for our partnership. Thanks again, and everyone, make sure to head over to Seams Apparel and grab your shirts, your hats, anything baseball related. Cale's got it. So yeah, it's quality stuff, guys. Be sure to check him out and support as well. All right, Michael, let's jump right into it. I want you to give us a breakdown of your days playing at Carroll, but the days leading up to that as well. So kind of give us your background as well as, you know, where you grew up, where you went to middle school, where you went to high school. All
right. So, yeah, born and raised here in Corpus, and was coached by a guy named Johnny Del Paz, good friend of mine still. And, yeah, kind of coached me up until I was about, as far as I can remember. And then got to about 8 or 9. Started playing with a team out of Houston, San Antonio, and then Corpus. A couple guys from here, a couple guys from San Antonio and Houston. Tri-City Dust Devils was the name. Pretty good team. Some ballers. Josh Young is, he's the guy for the Rangers. And
yeah.
He was on the team. We're little kids, and anyway. Go on to play with the Texas Drillers, and this is sometime about middle school throughout high school. And at that time, I'm at Grant Middle School. And then, yeah, I spent a little time with the Dallas Tigers and the Banditos out of Houston. So
okay, sweet. Are those who you played with while you were going in high school?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
In high school.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, give us your playing days at Carroll. What years did you play there at Carroll?
Shoot. I guess 13 was my first year. It was my freshman year, 13, 14. Or maybe, is that right? I don't know. I graduated in 16, so.
Okay, 13 sounds right.
Okay, yeah. So that was my my freshman year. And it was good, man. We were, when I get there, they're just coming off a 3-year straight state run, you know, and like they won one of them. And, it's 5A ball, some good ball players on that team. And all those guys, I looked up to.
Yeah.
Like, man, I want to be like those guys, and they were good. So, yeah, definitely good times. I was under Yeager for 2 years, really good head coach. And then Mike Lau, my junior and senior year, also a really good head coach. So, yeah, still very close to both of them.
Yeah. What team did you play on your freshman, sophomore year? Did you make varsity as a freshman?
I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. A lot of guys are pretty good. And I think we had three or four guys that were in our group that made varsity that year. Mm-hmm. Our freshman year, though, we were pretty bad. We were bad. And that was the only year in high school that I caught. And I liked it. I'm a catcher, I'm a catcher. But yeah, we were bad our freshman year, man, bad. Yeah. Sophomore year, though, was really good. We somehow or another just kind of put it together. We had some new staff members come in, and it was just such a baseball team.
Yeah.
I feel like oftentimes you're on a team where it's a team. There's some players here, some players there, and it's just, I don't know. It's not quite baseball, And
yeah,
yeah, that sophomore year we were just a team full of baseball players, and We ended up going pretty far, not as far as we would have liked. Getting knocked out in the 4th round by Eagle Pass.
Okay.
After this is probably the best high school story I have, or like baseball wise at least.
Yeah.
So we're in the kind of cruising through 1st, 2nd round. And in the 3rd round, we meet up with O'Connor from San Antonio, who at the time was ranked 1st in the state. And I believe maybe 3rd nationally.
Okay.
Right. So they're good.
Yeah.
Right? And we're 2nd in the state, but we're not ranked nationally. But we know we're good. You know, it didn't matter. So, I mean, nothing crazy about that. We end up sweeping that series. You know, we're like, okay, it's over. You know, obviously we still got to put our head down and work, but it's over. You know, we just knocked out the best team in the state.
Uh-huh.
And then we go play Eagle Pass, who, no disrespect, they weren't anything special. You know.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-game series, and it was just everything was just off, man. Like,
yeah.
And I remember my mom saying, like, I mean, yeah, it just felt different. You know, like there was different people in the stands. You know, like. Just little, you know, maybe you can call them superstitious, superstitious things that were just completely different than all the other games where we were just rolling, you know.
Yeah.
1-game series, boom, see ya, and that was it. But fun year, and that was definitely the best year that I had playing wise.
So that was your sophomore year?
My sophomore year, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those days where just no matter what, just everything is off. Like it just feels off. The vibe is off.
Right.
Everyone's off. You just can't get that base hit right.
Yep.
Like those are the worst, especially in those 1-game playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you don't get another chance to come back and win 2.
Yeah. And we're just facing this guy who, like I said, I mean, we faced O'Connor the week before, and it's, you know, at the time it's 88, 90s, like hard, really hard. You know, it's like 88, 90, boom, 3 pitchers in a row, 90, 90, and then we go face like Mr. Changeup, Mr. you know, 82, and our only run was on a double play. It wasn't even an RBI, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember that because I hit it. I mean, I was whatever, like 1 run. We're gonna keep cruising. You know, that was it. 2-1, we lose.
Man.
So.
And that was Yeager's last year at Carroll?
That was his last year. Yeah.
When did y'all find out he was leaving?
Shoot, I don't remember, man. I think there may have been rumor. I really don't remember. I don't. I think I know after the season for sure.
Okay.
I think probably about when it was public knowledge is when we find out.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
No.
Okay, so then what about your junior and senior years there at Carroll? Did y'all do anything special?
Nothing crazy. I think we made it to the 3rd round both times. One, we met up with O'Connor, and maybe the 2nd. And we played against 2 buddies, or Josh and Jace Young, both of them. They were, I think Jace was a freshman at the time, and I think me and Josh were both seniors or juniors. I can't remember what exactly it was, and it was good. I think we win game 1, lose game 2, and we go into game 3. But I will say this: in that game, I had. I think we just took the lead in like the last inning or something. Mm-hmm. And there's a video out there. I'll have to show you someday. I mean, it's nothing. I'm not a shortstop. You know, it was the craziest, coolest thing. A triple play to end the game. Like it was, yeah, crazy. Like line drive to me at short, boom, touch the bag, make it throw to first. And it was like, yeah, it was, you know, we're all crazy hype and stuff. And we ended up going to game 3 and winning there, and then losing to Johnson the following series. Yeah, they were good. Johnson was always good, though.
Yeah, I remember that. There were a few years Johnson had. I think they won state one of those years.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that was at the time. Was that one of the few years that Carroll was 6A?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all were up there with the biggest schools.
Yeah, we were. But shoot, Johnson had been. I remember stories of Yeager before I got to high school telling me that you know, they played him in the 4th round. You know what I'm saying? Like they were always going deep with everybody. So yeah, they weren't just some random Cinderella team.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so then that's pretty much your high school career, right? Let's talk about your recruitment. Obviously, you played at Texas Tech. Talk about what factored into your decision to go to Tech. Did you have offers to go elsewhere, and when did they first reach out to you, and what was your thought process there?
Yeah, I remember the first offer I had was, and I truly advise kids not to get caught up in this because it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I know guys who signed the last day possible. You know what I'm saying? I might be exaggerating, but what I'm getting at is signing early or committing early is not anything to glamorize. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my first offer was my freshman year by BYU. Was I ever going to go there? I'm not sure. But I do remember Yeager telling me that the coaches wanted to see me. We're hitting, and boom, offer. And well, I appreciate it, guys. I'm not sure where I stand right now. I'm a little young. I definitely want to see how things play out. Right. My sophomore year. Or my sophomore summer, so after the season, we're playing, summer ball, travel ball, and that was definitely the biggest recruitment summer for me.
Okay.
Just played pretty good in front of some pretty important eyes, or I guess at the time, that being colleges.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to a couple different schools, but TCU. I was originally committed to TCU.
Okay.
And that would have been, I guess, my junior year. And just boom, we're kind of rolling, playing ball, just normal stuff. I'm committed to them. And then I'm playing out in Waco, and J. Bob Thomas, who he was my recruiting guy at Tech, and playing, but I might have had a good game. I don't quite remember, but anyway, after the game, he's there and, hey, Michael, how you doing, man? J. Bob Thomas over at Tech. And I had wanted to go there from the beginning. I did. That's where I wanted to go. And they just kind of didn't talk to me, and they had a I don't know what it was. I think they might have had another guy who potentially could have gone there, or I don't quite remember. But anyway, that day in Waco, he's like, hey, like, this is kind of what we got. We like you. And then after that, it was just like, yeah, this is the decision, you know? So ended up doing that. But yeah, I was, my sophomore year, sophomore summer was pretty big for me. And then junior and I guess, junior summer was, just like, hey, play as good as you can. And maybe school's not even in the picture.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's more so what a guy who's committed already, who's verbally committed or signed. I think that's kind of the lens they look through at that point.
Yeah. So you committed going into your junior year?
Yes, going into my junior year.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Was there ever a chance that you decommit from Tech? Did it ever cross your mind?
No. There wasn't really anywhere else. So I never had a family dream. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them schools that just I followed growing up. I will say, about the time who I didn't even know back then, but Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole are at UCLA, and I loved UCLA. Okay. Like I just liked their baseball team. Yeah. Man, I didn't know anything about California or, you know what I'm saying? I just liked their team. Yeah. And then I really liked, we went to play in Omaha, Nebraska, my team did, and LSU ended up winning that year, but I was just like, man, I like LSU, I probably sound like a bandwagon, but I'm an 8-year-old kid at the time, 9-year-old kid. And I'm like, man, I like this, So, those were kind of, sure, if LSU or UCLA, like, hey man, like, I don't know, 90% offer, like, do I go? Maybe, but, I liked my decision. I did.
Did Tech offer you scholarship money?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How much of it was covered?
I believe it was like 85 or 80 something.
Okay.
Like pretty good. You know?
That's pretty good considering there was only like 11.7 scholarships or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm definitely grateful, and then it kind of depends too, because if TCU offered me that same offer, right? Mm-hmm. I would still have to pay more, you know what I'm saying? Given that it's a private school compared to a public school or state school, and the same with out of state, it all factors in. But yeah, Tech, it pretty much everything worked out. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then talk about your freshman year at Tech. Did you spend 1 year there or 2?
I spent a year and a half.
Okay.
it was really good. Had a good year my freshman year. Played just about every day. I hit just over 300.
Yeah,
we were good. We were ranked second nationally for. I mean, shoot, it must have been weeks. You know, might have dropped a couple games here and there, but we ended up hosting a regional and get bounced from it. I mean, it was shouldn't have happened, but it did. But yeah, I had a good freshman year. Learned a lot of things. I mean, it's completely different than high school, you know. And,
yeah.
I mean, the ball's better, but it was. I mean, you faced that in the summers. You know, you faced really good guys in the summer, probably similar to a Friday night guy in college.
Mm-hmm.
The difference probably was more so like growing up and how to act in the clubhouse and how to act. I guess just more mature in general, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it was good.
Yeah. Okay. So then you spend a semester, your sophomore year there?
Yes. The fall semester I spent at Tech. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we go, and then it was just kind of a decision I made to transfer out and go to Cisco. And then, you know, what happens from there, I'm saying this back then, you know, if I'm leaving, I'm about to leave, and who knows what happens, right? You know, but the end result was me getting drafted, and that was, you know, definitely a plus, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely worked out.
Okay. So then did you only play at Cisco that next year, or did you spend more than a year there?
I just spent that semester there. So I was there, I don't remember the exact months, but I guess it was only
like January to May.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I guess I could talk a little bit about that, but it was, I'll say, completely different to say the least.
Yeah, I can imagine.
From you know, a big Power 5 school to a junior college, right? It was just like, where am I? You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, the idea there was just, man, put your head down, play ball, like get your work in, and that's it. You know, you don't, because you don't got anything else. You don't got anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a school on a hill. I mean, I'm not talking anything bad about Cisco because I loved it, and it's great staff over there. But it's just, in comparison, it's night and day. You know?
Yeah.
You don't have even a Whataburger right there. You don't have, you know, as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid at Tech, you know, where you might be going out having fun, going to a football game. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all of that is gone.
Yeah.
So it's just baseball, and walk to that class there, and baseball. And I was like, yeah, let's roll. Whenever
you were drafted out of Cisco, this is at the completion of your sophomore year. Mm-hmm. What went into the process? Did you have an inkling that you were going to be drafted? Had they reached out to you? How did that work?
Yeah, I had an idea that I would be drafted. I probably wish I would have had more of an idea, you know, just to like prepare, probably do like a little more research before I just step foot into pro ball.
Yeah.
But I remember Whitey, the head coach at Cisco, kind of asking me like, hey, like, where do you want to go to school? Or where do you want to, give me 5 schools that you want to go to, or 3, whatever it was. You know, I'm like, boom, here we go, this, that, and that. And all that is essentially is either I'm going to go there, I'm going to finish out my college career at this school, or I'm going to use it as leverage, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was more of a leverage standpoint. And yeah, but it was, there would just be times where my coach would kind of be like, hey man, like, the White Sox want to talk to you, the Tigers want to talk to you. And we would just kind of set it up where I finished my practice and then we go into the clubhouse and sit there and just chat for, I don't know how long, but you know, kind of one of them things. They had already seen me play. It was kind of less of baseball at that point. It's more of like who I am as a person, you know?
Yeah. So these, are they scouts that are there at Cisco?
Yes. Yeah.
They're making the rounds and they're coming through and,
right,
you know, talking to guys, probably not just at Cisco, but you know, they're within whatever region they are.
Yeah.
But, was there any scout that stood out to you that you were like, oh, this guy's kind of interesting, or do you have any stories from that are particular?
I have a funny story. This isn't in college though. This is in high school, and it must have been my senior year. we're playing at the old grandstands. It was Champion at the time, and now it's Legacy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're playing over there, and back then, like these high school tournaments, these like local Corpus high school tournaments used to be like big.
Yeah.
Like there would be scouts, like literally scouts walking around. Like it was like we're in Florida, you know?
Yeah.
It was crazy. You don't see that anymore. But but anyway, we're playing, and I mean, you can tell who's there and who they're watching, right? And so I'm playing shortstop. My first at bat, I ground out the short or something, and I run it out, and I think I'm safe, and the umpire calls me out, and I sit there, I'm like, you know, probably something I shouldn't say right now. I'm talking to him, and oh, that's enough, man, that's enough. So I go back out, get my glove, come to shortstop. This is like the first inning, and he tosses me because I'm still going, right? So I'm walking out, and the scout for the Yankees, gosh dang it, man, I don't remember his name, but he comes around here, or South Texas at least, or Texas maybe. Anyway, mustache guy, and just looks like a Yankee. And he kind of tells me like, "Ah, damn it, Berglund! Like, you know, we came here to see you, man. Like, you gotta stay in the game." And he wasn't mad by any means, but it was definitely a funny story to look back on. You know,
Yeah.
I get to Tech a year later. He's there scouting, doing his thing. He comes in the clubhouse, and he brings Tadlock to the side, and he brings up that exact story, and it was just something to laugh about. But that was my funny story there.
That is funny. So throughout high school, you did catch, and then you caught in college, right?
Right. So I caught only in the summers. So
Okay.
during the year, for whatever reason, my freshman year I caught. Sophomore year, I played third every day. Like that was my spot. Junior year, I bounced around between short, second, third, pretty much whoever was pitching that day, that's where I was going.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You filled in as
Yeah.
utility.
Yeah. And I mean, we had some good players. Like we did that year. We had we had a shortstop, we had a second baseman, and they were pitchers, you know what I'm saying? So that when they would pitch, I would just play there. I don't even remember where I played. I played a little short, like I said, a little short, a little second, a little third. And then my senior year, I played short. And caught in the summers, like I said. And then that's kind of how I ran away with it. So
Yeah. So you were recruited by all the colleges as a catcher.
as a catcher.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. So then did you sit down with the Rays? Because the Rays are the team that ends up drafting you.
Yep.
So did you ever sit down with them while you were at Cisco?
Man, I remember it must have been about the time at the regional that we went to. And then maybe like a week later, it's like a pre-draft workout. And then from then on, Pat Murphy was my scout. I'm sure a lot of guys who might be watching this who know who he is. And awesome dude. But anyway, we're just kind of in communication, and then we get a little closer to it. And, you know, hey Mike, we're gonna take you. You know, and like, all right, you know, I haven't heard otherwise, so let's go. You know, and that was it. He came down. He drove down to Corpus. We go out to eat, sign some paperwork, and kind of just talk a little bit, get to know each other a little more. And yeah, cool dude. I still talk to him till this day. So
yeah.
Yeah.
How did the draft work in the later rounds? Did they, because they don't show it on TV, obviously, right?
Yeah.
They show rounds 1, maybe 2, but
yeah.
So you went what round and what pick overall?
So I was the 240th pick in the 8th round. And like you said, yeah, they don't show. I know obviously like first day, which is I think just the first round, maybe the comp picks. They'll big old deal, you know. Like you'll get 5 minutes of the screen.
Yeah, the stage and all
that. And as the picks go on, you know, maybe second round, it's still a little something. You know, you'll see some highlights of him swinging a bat or whatever it is, whatever position he plays, and you get a little bit lower, third, fourth round. It's just like, hey, or not, hey, you know, I don't know, Cleveland picks in the 3rd round, boom, you know, and it's just like the name,
the graphic,
a picture, and it's like, hey, this guy's really good. And they're probably reading it right here. They don't know anything about me, you know.
Yeah.
The 240 selection, you know, the Rays take Michael Berglund, a left-handed hitting catcher. You know, they probably didn't know anything else. And yeah, nothing crazy. I'm I'm at home because, you know, at that point I didn't know what to expect. You know, I really didn't know when they were going to take me until that round where when I get a call from Pat and he's like, hey, like coming up, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, one of my best friends, Gianni, he's sitting there, and just my family. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, you know. And you know, after that maybe we go out to eat or something, and it was a good time.
Okay, so then you have dinner with them, you sign those papers, right? You sign your contract. How soon are you at rookie ball? Well, what happened after that?
Okay, so I think it was maybe a week later, and yeah, he tells me, Pat's like, kind of just tells you what to expect a little. You know, he's like, hey, like, I will remember this. He said, one, he's like, hey, you might not want your truck there. You might not want to be the Uber driver for everybody.
Okay.
Bring, you know, collared shirts and some decent shorts to show up in, you know, like look professional. And after that, it was just like, hey man, like you can play ball, like just go play ball, you know? And that was pretty much it. So we get there.
Did you go to Florida or Arizona?
Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Tampa's spring training complex is in Port Charlotte, Florida. Just, you know, nothing bad to say about Tampa, but everyone and guys who played with Tampa will know that area where the complex is just brutal. You know, like there's just nothing going on, you know? So, but yeah, Port Charlotte, Florida is where I reported to.
Okay. So then you get there. What are you met with?
I get picked up in a van at the airport in Tampa. We drive down to Port Charlotte, to these apartment complexes where I'll be staying at for the time being, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was it. I mean, you just kind of feel like I don't know, it's a good feeling, and it's like, it's all new. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Florida before, but it's like, you just kind of remember the humidity, you remember like the smell, and it's like, damn, like, you know, we're here. So then we go there, right? And then, hey, van's at 7 a.m. or whatever. I'm like, shoot, like it's pretty coming up, you know? So we get up, we go to the complex, kind of meet everybody, you know, and, you know, you're kind of just walking around, like just keep your head down a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's not really I wasn't going in there with my shoulders my chest all puffed out, you know, I don't know anybody, and it's my first year, right? And, yeah, they just dish you off some stuff, like, hey, like that's your locker there for the time. And, they kind of tell you where you're going to be for the season. And, you start meeting the players, and I played with a couple Puerto Ricans prior to that, but that's about it, you know?
Yeah.
And Puerto Ricans are, you know, Americans in a sense, right? Or like, you know, most of them speak English, right?
Yeah.
And you get there, and it's just like, look around, like, damn, you know, these dudes, they don't speak English, you know? And obviously a lot of guys who got drafted with me did, but the Dominicans, the Venezuelans, you know, the guys from Panama, like you just start hearing it, you know? And me, I've learned Spanish throughout my career, but I probably look like I can speak Spanish, you know? So they're telling me, like, they're talking to me in Spanish, and I just felt like, I wish I could be, hey bro, like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish, y'all. I don't remember how I handled it, but I ended up picking up a little bit, you know, that year. But yeah, it was good. Some real young kids there. I'm 20, you know, I'm still pretty young in my eyes, you know, but there's some 17 at the time. Wander Franco was right there with me, and he's 17, you know. I'm like, dude, I'm 20. I thought I was young, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so hot, humid, early mornings. Games are hot. Nobody's there in rookie ball. Rookie ball's a grinders league for sure. Yeah.
And it's only maybe half of the season.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember how many games. It was few though.
Maybe like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But the funny thing is, you know, you're coming from college, right? And you get drafted, and all you think about, like, what do you think about if you're about to get drafted? You sign your papers, you're on a plane, you get to the what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about I would kind of have like a high expectation of like, you know, maybe not my chest is entirely puffed out, but you you know, kind of like, hey, I got drafted. I kind of earned my way here. Maybe like I'm expecting some nicer things. I don't know. Just maybe like expecting to not be let down.
Right. So that's exactly right. Right. That's exactly how I, along with everyone else, thought about it. And then we go to rookie ball. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, where's the 20,000 fans? You know, where are the lights? You know?
Yeah.
Where are the, you know, just everything. And it's rookie ball. You know, it's just like, oh, it's such a grinders league. It's unreal. So I'm there for maybe 30 games, and then I get moved up to at the time it was advanced rookie ball, which is it was the Appalachian League, the Appy League, and it's not a league anymore, unfortunately. It was cool, and then that's where you see some more fans, you see some lights or night games.
Yeah,
it's more of a pro schedule, and then I get moved up to short season A, which again that's not a league anymore. Playing in Hudson Valley, New York. And again, that just kind of kept progressing. Like, it was just like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Now we're kind of like at a spot where like, oh, this is baseball. You know, there's fans, there's lights, there's stuff going on the field. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like pro ball. And yeah, it was a good time. I'm appreciative that I got to play in those leagues before they did away with them, because you know, now like those leagues aren't anything. You know, it's just rookie ball, low A, high A, double A, and triple A. That's it now. So,
how much are you getting paid in rookie ball and throughout these little minor league short seasons?
Shoot,
what's your like living situation? I know you said you're in some apartments for the time being.
Yeah,
but like after that year, you come back. I know we always talk about the minor league pay, right? Obviously, it's much better now than it was then.
Yeah. But
how much are you getting paid? Like, what does that look like on the living side of things?
All right. Well, I can't remember too much, like exactly how much we were getting paid, but it was just note that it was not much. It was, you know, I don't know, you might be able to pay for your rent, which they made you pay for, or not that they made us, but that was just it, you know?
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe you can, I don't know, go get some food, go get some dinner, and for the next week, and then, you know, wait for the next check. So the first rookie ball, they put you up nice because it's all close by. They put you up nice in an apartment. We were in a condo, better yet. You're paying for it. It's a little cheaper than everywhere else. Moved up. I'm staying in a terrible hotel. Anyway, I don't know the regulations. I don't know none of that. I just know it was a brutal hotel. And then I get moved up again, and in the New York Penn League for Hudson Valley, they had host families. Okay. But I get moved up so late in the season that I didn't have a host family. So I stayed up in a hotel. And this hotel was it was nice, but it's a hotel, you know what I'm saying? Like,
did they pay for it, or did you have to pay for it?
I believe I had to pay for it.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But they give you a rate and stuff, you know, but I think more so living in a hotel is you want to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be in a hotel. That's not home. Yeah. And then the following season, because 20 sat out, the following season, everybody, I have surgery in 19, and then I'm coming back from it. Then 2020 happens. You know, I'm getting ready to play, all excited. We're seeing all this, like, these memes on the phone about coronavirus. You know, you're seeing the actual Corona bottle. You know, I'm like, yeah, this is whatever. You know, I'm not believing it. Hey, meeting at noon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. We're at the meeting. Hey guys, like, this virus, you know, blah blah blah. We're going home for the time being. Like, I'm literally just getting ready to play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It happened to everybody though. But back to that living situation. Then low A's done in Charleston, South Carolina. Beautiful place. Great playing spot. The living obviously is not cheap, you know, and it came to a point where that year I ended up moving in with Taj Bradley and a buddy named Stephon Moore. And it's just like, we all kind of came together like, hey bro, like, you know, let's just be smart about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's 2 rooms here and the living area downstairs is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of what we did. Yeah. And believe it or not, 3 people living in a 2-bedroom was a how do I word this, like a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Because it got to a point where there was 7 guys living in one 2-bedroom, you know what I'm saying?
I've heard stories.
Yeah, but people were like, well, shoot, we're not making any money, and half of it's going to the rent, you know what I'm saying? So let's just cut that down and go from there, you know? And it worked out. I mean, it wasn't, you know, we're all here, you know, so.
Yeah. Whenever you had your surgery, does a team cover that? Are you guys like on insurance? Like how does the injury side of things work and the recovery?
Yeah. So, the team definitely pays for, or they take care of everything. Recovery's done. If, you know, you're a big dog, right? If you're established, you could maybe go rehab somewhere else. You know, if you, I don't know how it's exactly worked out. If you wanted to, if you told them, if they agreed, if you're you know what I'm saying? A bunch of things kind of got to factor in.
Yeah.
Otherwise you rehab at the complex, which is, it's pretty tough. You know, like obviously you're not very happy. You're off the field for the time being. So I had a Tommy John repair, which is different than the reconstruction. The reconstruction is what you see often, you know, on the players these days. And that recovery is about 12 to 14 months. Mine was only, I believe, like 6 months.
Okay.
My UCL was partially torn. They put a brace on it, and they moved my ulnar nerve over. So 6-month recovery, but I'm walking into the complex every day, like super early, you know, and sitting there like throwing a ball, doing this, you know, it's just, it gets old, you know?
Yeah.
And so all you're waiting for is to just get off the field or get on the field and get out the training room. And, but yeah, it was not, it wasn't fun. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. 2020, you don't get to play. 21, you come back. You get up to AA that year?
That year, I was in low A the whole time.
Okay. So then is it 22, you get up to AA?
Yes. Yeah.
And at what point do you get acquired by the Guardians?
Okay. So that was, I believe it was in December. Now that I think it was my dad's birthday, December 7th. Yes. I get are you familiar with the Rule 5 draft at all?
I think so.
So the winter meetings, there's just a big league phase of the Rule 5 draft and a minor league phase. And anyway, so I'm hitting one day, and
you're back home?
I'm in Corpus, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in Corpus. I'm hitting with Rudy Flores over at the Bells Cages right there off downtown, and I'm just hitting, you know, boom, we're getting finished up, and we're sitting there, right? And I have my iPad, like looking at video and stuff from my recording, and then I get a text from an old teammate of mine, Chris Betts, and I'm like, he's like, "Hey, congrats, bro!" And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know what I did, you know. I'm thinking about would I have a good season. I'm like, I didn't really have a good season. I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, hey, thanks, man. Like, what are you talking about? You know, he's like, oh, you just got picked up in the Rule 5 draft, you know? And I was like, cool, man, thanks. You know, I appreciate it. You know, I'm like, well, my agent hadn't even heard, you know what I'm saying? Like, this literally just went on, right?
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't following it. You know, you just know you're Rule 5 eligible. You don't really, they're not like, hey, man, like, be ready. Like, the draft is coming up. It's just pretty much.
It's kind of the background.
Yeah. And so that's essentially what happened. So then I call my agent. I'm like, hey, Bobby, I just get a text, you know, I think, did I get picked up in a Rule 5 draft? And he's like, yes, Michael, you did. Congratulations. Let me call you back. Okay. You know, he's dealing with, he don't just represent me, you know?
Yeah.
And, so he called me back, had some time. He's like, hey, Mike, you know, you should be hearing from, the Guardians, and you should be hearing from, Tampa to kind of just say goodbye, whatever. I don't know. So I get a call from Jeff McLaren from Tampa. You know, he's like, hey, Michael, thank you for everything, man. Best of luck to you. Let us know if you need anything, you know. And I'm like, hey, well, you know, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate y'all taking a chance on me. Maybe 2 minutes later, Rob Strafolio from Cleveland's calling me. He's like, hey, man, welcome aboard, you know. And I'm like, cool. Well, you know, like, just kind of let me know what happens next, right? Because I don't know anything. I don't know who I'm with now. You know, I'm like juggling me around. But anyway, yeah, I show up to I report to Cleveland like January 14th, which is really early. And it was just, yeah, pretty good. Loved Cleveland. Definitely took care of me. Some really good people over there. And, you know, they took me in as if they drafted me with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 22 your first season with Cleveland?
23. So last year, yeah.
Okay, so last year. So then, did you spend the whole year in AA?
I did, yeah.
Okay, and you were in Akron?
Akron, Ohio.
What was that like? What was Akron like? What was AA like? How close were you to AAA? Give us the rundown.
So Akron was, Akron's a pretty cool place. You know, it's nothing crazy. It's not going to blow you away, you know, but like pretty good weather. I liked it. The stadium was, I think it won Stadium of the Year last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Just a really, really good stadium, good fans, good playing surface, everything. But about the time I got there was, there was some like, you know, like some riots and like just some stuff going on.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and we're just kind of like, our apartment literally is across the street, nice apartment downtown Akron. You know, it's a really nice apartment, but all the stuff was going down there. You know, like some stuff might have had happened, you know, prior to us being there. We're there, and they're just, you know, all this stuff's going on. You know, just cop cars and the streets are flooded. You know, and so our manager Rugla Sador, he's kind of like, hey man, like y'all be really careful walking to y'all's apartment. You know, we're like, all right, you know, what can we do, right? You got to walk over there. It ended up dying down, but that was essentially what we walked into, you know. And the Eastern League was good. I mean, really good ball, really good competition. Some cool fields to play out, cool places to travel. And yeah, we were just a good bunch to play with. Yeah.
So AA, obviously, you're basically halfway to the big leagues. How was there ever a chance that you knew of that you were being bumped up to AAA? I know that last offseason, whenever I was with you, you said that one of your big focuses was your swing and your hitting. So what do you think was like your roadblock to getting moved up?
Well, I mean, you could look at it. I mean, there's probably realistically 7 different things that prevent me and a lot of other guys from moving up. The biggest being what's in front of them. You know, not to say he's better than me, but it just kind of works out that way. You know what I'm saying? And I don't quite know where I was at as far as moving up. You know, I don't know where I would have been, whatever. But I do know that if you play GM in your head, you're going to lose your mind, you know. Like if you like, oh, well, shoot, why am I not moving on? I had a really good week and this guy didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? You kind of start thinking about that. The next 3 games, you're over 10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just put your head down and play ball. You know, be grateful that you're even there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine I was far from anything. It's just, I mean, a lot of guys can say this too. Once you reach a certain point, it's pretty much a phone call away. Yeah. You know, there's been scenarios where the starting catcher, the backup catcher, the AAA catcher, and the AAA backup catcher get hurt. Who's next? You know what I'm saying? And it obviously didn't happen to me, but I know guys that's happened to. You know, so yeah. Man, it's so almost like unique how it works. You know, because I think a lot of guys deserve a shot. You know, but they never played in that spot, right? Those eyes never saw them in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. It just, some guys had a really good moment and, you know, in a time where they needed to, and it paid off, you know. Other guys didn't have that moment. They didn't have that opportunity to show out in that spot and that shine where the whole front office is there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it might be, but it is unique, you know? Yeah.
All right, we got maybe 5, 6, 7 more minutes before you got to run. Okay, so spring training this year in 24, the Guardians release you. And I felt so bad because I texted you like 2 days after it happened and I didn't know, because I have a list of all the local pro guys, and maybe every like 2 or 3 days I go on Twitter and I type each name in just to see, you know, what's trending, like what the latest news is, right?
Yeah.
You know, like Nick Lofton, it'll say like the Royals select Nick to the big league club, and then, you know, a few days later he might get optioned back to AAA, right? So I just check every now and then all the guys, you know, Dustin Signs, Blake Mitchell, all those guys, right, just to see what's happening. So I text you and I'm like, hey bro, like good luck at spring training, whatever. And little do I know, like 2 days before that you had gotten released.
Yeah.
And so when I look it up,
you're at home.
I look it up and it says Guardians release Michael Berglund, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, I feel so bad that I didn't look before I texted him. So after that, you go play in Claiborne, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of walk us through Claiborne, because then you get picked up by York, and then you spend the rest of the season of 2024 playing in the Atlantic League, right?
Yep, in the Atlantic League, yeah.
Okay, so just give us a summary of from March through September, whenever you make it back home. What was it like in the Atlantic League this year?
So we could back it up even a little bit further. So I'm still with Cleveland at the time, right? We'll talk about January. They want me to report January 7th. It's my little sister's birthday. She had her quinceañera the night before. I didn't have my truck. I couldn't just drive in one day. You know what I'm saying? It was just it's like, shoot. I mean, they want me to go to big league camp. I'm gonna get out there. You know, I don't care. So I go to her party and deal with it the next day. I'm out there from January 7th until the end of March, right? And I mean, it was a great spring, right? Did I perform as how I wanted to? Probably not, but it was just so awesome to be around those guys every day, work with them every day, see how they work, and just, oh man, it was just unbelievable, the stuff that I kind of took from it. So anyway, we get released, but I'm being told that I'm going to Columbus AAA, right? We're leaving on Monday. This is Sunday that I'm showing up. So I'm showing up. My hotel's all packed up. For the most part, I'm going in the field. I'm living life. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get out of here, go play some ball. And I get one of the clubbies comes, hey, Berg, Surf wants to see you in his office. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I look at the schedule. I'm like, shoot, let me make sure I didn't miss a meeting, because at that point they're having exit meetings. So I get in there, James Harris and Rob Sperling. I'm well, hey guys, hey man, I apologize if I missed something, Hey Berg, just sit down, man. I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I know where we're headed, And I kind of I asked him like, hey, well, who's got me beat, and hey man, we picked up a free agent, hey, we care about you, man, and we really liked you, but and I'm sure they might say it to everybody, but I felt some genuine feelings from them,
Yeah.
And it is what it is, right? Like at that point, getting released, sure, it sucks. It's not the end of the world, though. You can go ask a couple big leaguers, how many times have they been released?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just part of it, right? Just a bump in the road, right? So I come back home. My agent is good friends with Pete Incaviglia, another Rangers guy, who's the manager in Cleburne, right? And so, let's go. Yeah, I'll go play some indie ball for the time being. I go there, and long story short, I get put on waivers over there, right? Because I'm not performing. I'm not, and the reason that happened is probably because I'm like, not that I'm thinking it's the end of the world, but I'm just kind of, it's with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm carrying my baggage with me, even though in reality I should have just shown up. Hey, brand new, everything. Come on. And I get put on waivers. A week later, Rick Forney out in New York, Pennsylvania, gives me a call. And, at that point, there's a thought that goes to my mind. I'm like, shoot, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I stand anymore. All this stuff is happening this year. You know what I'm saying? Never once did I question who I was as a baseball player, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a week later, I'm in York, Pennsylvania. And, Rick Forney, great dude. I get there, and at this point, I'm just like, let's just play ball, man. I got nothing. I got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? And I still have every bit of confidence that I've carried with me. And I think that's what helped me a bunch, man, because, we hit the ground running. We're playing about 4 or 5 days a week and playing well, you know what I'm saying? And it's a really good league, and we had a really good team. We actually won the championship this year, and But yeah, it was a good time in York. York's another one of them places where if you've ever been into York, Pennsylvania, you know what I'm talking about. The field is phenomenal though, man. Like it's a really nice stadium. And good fans too, you know. So being on a baseball field like that every day was just like it's a good feeling, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so heading your outlook into this upcoming season with indie ball, is it like year by year, and is it structured to where the guys have the opportunity to go get a spring training invite before going back to indie ball? How does that work? Yeah,
so indie ball, it's year by year. You know, the managers, they'll tell you, man, they understand indie ball is not a career. It just can't be, you know. And there's some guys who have played indie ball out there, and it's a really good league. It's a really good baseball. There's a bunch of opportunity to get picked up during the season, right? But it's tough, you know, financially. You know, like it just is what it is, you know. And I would play there. I'd play in the Atlantic League for 10 more years if it was sustainable, you know. But anyway, the managers, they say that, they're like, hey man, like I get it, you know, like I just let me know when you're ready. We always want you back. Just kind of when the time comes, let me know where you stand, you know. And so I'm like, okay, well that's perfect. You know, I don't have a scumbag manager who's just trying to get me over here. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I understand. Like I know what it is. Like you need to get your life going, you know, and you can't do that playing for pennies. And so anyway, I'm looking to get a spring training invite, which is, in my opinion, likely. I don't know. I haven't talked to too many teams yet, and I'm letting my agent handle that. But it's just a lot more likely to get a spring training invite than to get picked up during the season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, because they invite more guys. You know, they'll let you go after spring training. You know, during the season, it's like a set roster.
Yeah.
And teams might have their stud, their number one catcher in AAA. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, they don't need a guy like me. I'm not necessarily young anymore. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a 27-year-old catcher they already have one, you know? So
yeah.
I think getting a spring training invite would be a lot more likely, but I'd play anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
I really would. I'd play anywhere. Looking to get on and play in the Mexican Baseball League. If the opportunity arises, I'll go to Japan. I'll go to Korea. You know, so I'm a baseball player, man. I'm looking to play some ball. So
yeah, love that. All right, as we wrap up, tell the people where you're doing your training, how often, how they can reach out to you. I know we put out a video the other day that we just to help promote that. But yeah, if you just want to let the people know, you can look at the camera if you want to. You don't have to. But yeah, just give us the information and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
So I'm located off of Saratoga and Everhart. The walk-off batting cages, William Rowland's batting cages. I'm sure all the baseball people around these parts would know. Pretty much 7 days a week, you know, whenever you need to. And if I'm available, let's do it. You know, my Instagram, Marcus will put it on there. My phone number will be on there, and feel free to text me, to call me, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. You know, however you got to get in touch with me, more than happy to help your kid.
Well, sweet. There you have it, everybody. We'll put all his information in the description and everything. But, dude, I appreciate you coming on in your little window you have. I know you got to get back to training. But nothing but the best for you. I'm sure we'll see each other plenty more this offseason. And, yeah, we'll have you on again when we have some more time.
Yeah, we'll get out there and talk more about this on the golf course, too.
That's right. Yeah, we'll play some golf, too.
Thank you, Marcus.
But everyone, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Catch us in the next one. Thanks.